Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our second segment here. We're going to go ahead and talk about Klay Thompson. Go ahead and lead us off today, Mr. Butts, about the Klay Thompson.
All right, so this article, I wanted to talk about this because Klay Thompson got benched, and I'm a Klay Thompson fan. Back on December 12th, Klay Thompson was benched down the stretch during the Warriors' 119 to 116 loss to the Suns. It was a big deal, symbolic of Steve Kerr's slow capitulation to the realities of old names having to be thought of and subsequently deployed in new ways. Thompson is not the player he used to be. The old rules couldn't continue to apply. Thompson had never been benched in closing time, but he had scored just 7 points on 2 of 10 shooting. Oh my God! 1 of 8 from 3 and was running out of career equity to pay his mounting debt.
Yeah, whoever wrote this article was on one. This is good.
Point, he was converting less than 40% of his total shots and 26% of his open 3-pointers on career low scoring marks. That is terrible. So I'm going to speed up. I'm going to read down here.
Right.
We wondered if it would be the new way, if Thompson would be out of closing lineups for good and more judiciously deployed in general, but the very next game he went for 30 points. That's what I was talking about when he scored 30 off the bench.
35.
35
versus the Jazz.
8 of his 12 3-pointers that went over the Clippers, too. It started a 6-game stretch over which Thompson averaged 25 points over 50% 3-point shooting, 33 for 66.
When was this?
Chucker's going to chuck, man.
When was this? When was that stretch?
I think the week after December 12th when he got benched.
Oh, okay, because I'm looking at his last 10 games. That's what I was like, what?
Remember I said December 12th.
Yeah, no. It took me a minute because I'm looking at February. I was like, what?
Okay, was he back? Not so much over his next 3 games. He missed 26 out of 34 shots. He scored 9 points in a loss to Denver.
Yep.
3 points in a loss to the Mavs, on which he missed 10 out of his 11. Dang, that's terrible. Look at his numbers overall. They aren't plenty acceptable. 17 points per game, 37% from 3. Jeez. God. It's just that the swings, particularly lows, are far from extreme these days. Man, that's crazy. So when they removed him out the lineup, he scores 35 points, right, before All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
They said, so Warriors fans felt like he thrives off the bench. Sure enough, in the second game coming off the bench, Thompson scored 3 points.
Yep. 1 in 9 shooting, yeah. 1 in 4 from 3-point, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists.
So he was feeling good in All-Star break.
Yeah.
And then right after, it goes back down to
Wah, wah, wah.
What is going on?
And then he scored 13, so I don't know if maybe he's finally coming back. Because he was 13 points, 5 of 11 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3-point. So I don't know if he may be getting ready to make another hot run. I hope so.
I hope so, man. I hope Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
It's tragic, bro. Klay Thompson, whoa, this is not all right. You going through it, bro. You just got to go back home, take your dog, just pet him real quick, watch some Adam Sandler movies. You'll be all right, bro.
Yeah.
Drive the boat, Klay. Drive the boat, man.
Klay Thompson came off the bench for the first time since his rookie season to knock down 7 3-pointers, score a season-high 35 points, leading to the Golden State Warriors' 140-137 victory over the Utah Jazz on Thursday night. When he talked about that, he said, you can do 2 things. You can pout or you can go out there and respond, said Thompson, who became the 6th Golden State player to surpass 15,000 points. And he did a great job. He said, I thought I did the latter very well tonight.
Okay. I bet that rim's pouting from all the freaking clanking it's been doing.
Yeah. Coach Steve Kerr had a discussion with Thompson on Thursday morning where he informed him of the change in the starting lineup. Kerr acknowledged Thompson wasn't thrilled with the decision that fueled what turned out to be his best offensive performance in an up-and-down season. It's been a tricky season for him and for us, said Kerr, who earned his 500th victory as a Golden State coach. It's not as easy to do what Klay did 5 or 6 years ago for him. I think he could be a good balance to get the best out of Klay and to get the best out of our team. My thing is I just don't. Sometimes I look at that offense, and I just don't see them drawing up the plays that they probably need to get Klay going. The open shots sometimes,
Right.
and maybe that's just the thing. Maybe it's easier for them to draw up the lineups that they need for him when he's coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You think the opportunity is more favorable?
well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who was just like the second shooter who come off 1 or 2 dribbles shoot. You know, and when you don't have that screen, because they talked about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's like, well, 5 or 6 years ago, you also had a lot of guys that were setting some crazy screens for him too.
Yeah, bro, especially Pachulia.
Yeah, and the thing is also, you got to also think the progression for him was different from a lot of players.
Right.
Like for him, like you'll have shooters who will work like layup, mid range, 3-point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a shooter, you either start mid range or 3-point out the gate.
Yeah.
So when he has to take this next step in the evolution of his game, which, you know, we've seen it before, where he had to make tough layups, make tough floaters. Usually those weren't going down sometimes unless he was already hot from 3-point and he had the confidence to go in there and take the contact and make those layups.
Right.
Like that finishing ability wasn't there enough to where it's like, okay, either side you have Clay or Steph curl off of, you're going to have to deal with either one of those guys either being able to penetrate really good, take a high percentage shot that they like, or you got to deal with them kicking for a backside option.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with that. Now with Clay, you see it all the time. They love to run him off the 3-point, and he has to make these like floaters and stuff. And they don't knock down the way Steph usually knocks him down, or Kyrie knocks him down, or any type of shooter coming off. Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Even Bradley Beal was having some crazy, you know, finishing abilities coming off the 3.
Bradley Beal would be, bro. He would be curling around that corner,
and you just knew you were just like,
Bradley Beal has some
exactly.
He got some crazy highlights.
And
posterizers.
My thing is now that you're at that point in your career, if you really want to extend it, make the most of it, there's only so many options we can draw up with the people we have on the floor for you right now.
You think he should attack more?
Well, he has to become more comfortable in that. And you know, with that leg injury, Brad, it was one of those ones to where it's like either it was live by the sword, die by the sword, and he ended up dying by the sword in that instance.
Yeah.
And you got to think when you got to take that next evolution and step in the game, you got to start being able to knock down floaters, being able to maybe even start making tougher layups.
Right.
You got to start getting 3 points inside the 3-point line. Because look at Kyle Korver. Like, if that...
What a career that would have been had he be able to drive to the freaking hole.
Exactly, but...
You could be wide open with Kyle Korver on a layup in 2K and still miss that bitch.
So, and that's the thing. Kyle Korver, like, when he was on that Cavs team, he didn't have to worry about that. Because you got to think, Golden... Kyrie. All that offensive ability around him. But now you got to think, when you're on Golden State, yes, Klay Thompson's defense is probably still there. The ability to make people take tough shots, getting defensive rebounds, and pushing the offense.
Hell yeah.
But the thing is, it's like when you have such a potent thing of the Golden State Warriors, they were more known for the fact that they were going to blitz you with at least 95 points. Mm-hmm. Starting out with 95. So you gotta figure out a way to still be in that offensive capacity to where it's like, okay, I can do that. You know?
Right. That's understandable.
So
that's an understandable.
And because remember, for the longest time, we were seeing Klay Thompson try to take those post
threes, the fadeaways, and all
the mid-range fade shots, and those shots weren't working for him unless he got going off some screens first and everything like that.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have that athleticism to try and create his own shot now.
Well, he never had to do it early in his career. So now we're seeing on the back end, it's like the frustrations and everything.
That's
because now we need
this though.
I don't know if it was predicted. I thought he was making the right changes, but it's just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
You know, because in that time, it's like, look, we're just going to have you do what you know how to do, which is shoot threes, make mid-range shots, and just play a 3-and-D. Mm-hmm. He is the model 3-and-D guy, if we're going to be honest.
Right.
But now that all that capability, and now you have to, what's called adapt, being able to take shots off the dribble is probably one of the best ways to adapt.
Right.
Quickest. It may be a little rough in the beginning, but you get there if you stick it out. Mm-hmm. But now we're seeing guys like, you know, early on in the league, traditionally, you would see a guy that knew how to drive to the hole, and if he didn't have that speed, he had to start taking jump shots.
It also doesn't help that the West has a lot of younger cats now who can play on-ball defense.
That, and you don't have that. You can't get the screens that you were once looking for.
Right. You don't have the person.
So now, naturally, you're going to have to curl off the screen and get to the hoop. But, you know, if you can't get around a 7-footer or create a shot that you want to get off the 7-footer with the glass or anything like that, or be a stack and pop with the jump shot, or make a tough floater from time to time, you're going to struggle. And this is probably something they should have tried to address with him earlier instead of getting high off those 4 wins.
Right. Because
now everybody just runs them off the 3-point line. Like, if I was Klay, I would, to be honest, if the Bucks would have still had that coach Adrian, I mean, realistically, all they needed was another guy to put up some shots for them, right?
That would have worked for him.
Model 3 and D guy, we can get some good minutes out of you.
And the best part is he can miss all he wants. They got all the personnel rebounded.
Yeah, 15, 4, and 3. He could be going 15. Because what is he right now? They
don't need freaking 30 points from him. What do they need? What, about 5 threes from him a game?
Probably, dude. Because in his last 10 games, he's 14, 3, and 2.
That's not bad.
That's not.
Imagine you got that in the playoffs. That type
exactly.
of
But my thing is, he could probably get up to 18 or 20. Because it's like, okay, he's taking good shots. He's getting the shots that he's used to getting and stuff like that. And then you're just going from broke from there.
13 in his last one. He
so
45% from the field goal.
Yeah.
So that's not bad at all.
So that's just my opinion. I think Klay Thompson coming off the bench, I think will get him the opportunities that he's looking for. It's just going to be a matter of, like I said, like he may just have to take a year and really develop getting comfortable finishing at the rim, getting comfortable making tough floaters, and
then earning it from the free throw line.
Yeah, because you got to come off that screen and you got to take like 1-2 dribbles and you just got floated.
Hell yeah.
Or you got to cause some. You got to be able to maybe
absorb that contact.
Yeah, you got to, and that's the thing. Like his body, like that man. When people talk about playoff Klay, I'm not talking about Klay Thompson when he was dropping like 40 to save him. Right. It was when he was playing that defense.
He was playing great defense.
That defense where you would hear him get up out that chair groaning. I was like, oh my god, just icing, bro, icing, and I'm just like, that's the type of player you'll have if he were to maybe be on the Bucks or something like that,
right?
Being able to do that, but I don't think he would betray the Warriors like that. I think he's loyal, but yeah, so we'll see what the adjustments they make. But I think Klay Thompson coming off the bench may get that spark that they need going. Because honestly, we need Klay Thompson to get a spark if I'm the Warriors. But then we got to start trying to move him back into the offensive lineup so we can start getting him to start closing in the fourth.
Yeah, man.
Because if you're coming off the bench in the third and the fourth around that 8-minute mark,
a little sluggish there.
8-minute mark, you're coming off the bench. You got to be hot when we got to put Steph back in the game. Chris Paul, and Draymond Green when we got to try to close.
Close him with Draymond.
Yeah. So
Draymond, we need you to hit the fadeaway 3. Nah.
So
but yeah, Klay Thompson coming off the bench, that's a positive trajectory for his career.
I think he extended his career by 5 years.
Easily.
But I mean, he could easily play into his 40s if he wanted to.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so I think that's all we got on that for Klay Thompson. So
sweet.
watch out.